Implementing VAT for UAE and Saudi Arabia. This presentation we have designed for our UAE and Saudi Arabia clients. Basically, this presentation will cover how to implement VAT in Busy. If you do not belong to UAE or Saudi Arabia country, then you can view our video implementing VAT for India or for outside India other than UAE and Saudi Arabia. In this presentation, we'll start from the very basic, very scratch, that is from creating a company, enabling VAT in the company, configuring VAT for the company, and then creating VAT related masters and entering transactions for the VAT, and finally viewing the VAT reports. So first of all, we'll start with the company creation. We'll open Busy, open the company menu, and here we'll go to the create company option to create a new company. Specify the name of the company, print name, country. Here we are selecting the country as UAE. Emirates, we are selecting it as Dubai. Then financial year beginning from and books commencing from. Basically, financial year beginning from, here you need to specify the financial year in which you have started your business, and books commencing from, date on which you have started your business operation. Specify the address of your company. Here 4 lines are provided for specifying the address. Then specify the IT PAN, VAT, telephone number, fax, email ID, specify currency related information, and then in the VAT GST information, specify Y in the enable VAT GST option and select the type as VAT. Since we are making this presentation for UAE and Saudi Arabia where VAT is implemented, so here we are selecting the type as VAT. If you belong to any country where GST is implemented, then you can select the GST option. Then specify Y in the enable additional tax surcharge field if you want to enable additional tax or surcharge in the company. Specify the TRN number, and then is the default tax rate 1 and default tax rate 2 data fields. Here you can specify the default tax rates, that is the tax rate you will specify here. Busy will accordingly create masters for only those tax rates. Currently, as there is only one tax rate, you can leave these fields as blank or can specify the 5% tax rate in default tax rate 1 field. Otherwise, in countries where more than 2 tax rates are prevalent and you are using only 2 tax rates, then specify those 2 tax rates, and Busy will create masters related to the values specified in these 2 data fields. If you leave these data fields as blank, then Busy will create masters related to all the VAT rates prevalent in your economy. Click Save button to create a new company. First, you need to specify the super username and password for the company, and then on the screen you can see the features option screen. Here first of all, we'll go to VAT GST tab. In the VAT GST tab, you can see all the information as you have specified at the time of company creation is appearing here. Here click the create default masters button to create default masters required for VAT. This will not be required for the users who are creating the company and enabling the VAT at the time of company creation. If you are our existing user and enabling the VAT by going to VAT GST tab, then you need to click this button to create default VAT related masters. Next is responsible person's detail. Click this button to specify details of the person responsible for handling tax related details of your company. Specify his/her name, then name in Arabic. This option will appear if you have enabled the second language feature in features options general tab. Here you can specify the name in the second language. Here we are specifying the name of the person in Arabic language. Specify the father husband name, designation, Emirates ID card, passport, address of the person, email ID, telephone number, mobile number, alternate contact details, and then is your tax agency name, TAN, tax agent name, and TAAN. Specify all these details and click OK button to save the responsible person details, and click the save button to save the configuration. Till now we are done with the company creation, in which we have enabled the VAT and have configured the company for VAT. Now our next step will be to create VAT related masters. First of all, here we'll discuss the sale type master. Sale type will be used in vouchers, and from the sale type, Busy will ascertain that what type of voucher you are going to enter. Basically, it will be a local transaction, export transaction, multiple tax rate, or a single tax rate. So all this information is contained in sale type. By default, at the time of company creation, Busy creates lot of sale types and hardly there is a need arise to create a new sale type. But in case you need to create a new sale type, then you can go to sale type add option. Specify the sale type name, then specify the sales account information, that is you want to specify the sales account which will be affected when this sale type will be used in the sale type master itself, or you want to specify it in the voucher. Then in the taxation type group, there are various options. First option is taxable voucher wise. That is, you want to apply tax in the bottom of the voucher, that is bill sundry. So on selecting this option, you need to specify the tax in the bill sundry part. Here again there are two options, single tax rate and multi tax rate. You can see on the right hand side a tax calculation box is appearing, in which you can select the single tax rate option if you are creating the sale type which will be used in the transactions in which only single tax rate will be used. You can select the multi tax rate option if you are creating the sale type for the transactions in which multiple tax rates will be used. In case of multi tax rate, you need to apply various bill sundries for different tax rate, and Busy will automatically pick from item master that on which item what rate of tax is to be charged. Next is taxable item wise option. Select this option if you want to apply tax item wise. Basically on this option, you can specify the tax rate along with each item. Then you need to specify the region, that is, you're creating this sale type for local transactions or for export transactions, and in an export transaction again you can select it is for within GCC countries or outside GCC countries. Then at the last, you can specify the invoice heading and invoice description which will be printed in the invoice in which this sale type will be used. Click save button to save the sale type information. Similar to sale type is your purchase type. As sale type is used in sales transaction, purchase type is used in purchase transactions. You can see on the screen a lot of purchase types has been created by Busy. Again, if you need to create more purchase type, then you can use the purchase type add option. Now we'll come to the tax category master, a very important master. Tax category contains all the information related to tax, like what rate of tax will be charged in local transactions, what rate of tax will be charged in case of export, import, and so on. Tax category will be tagged in the item master. So basically in the item master, whatever tax category you will be tagged, Busy will pick from it that on this particular item what tax rate is to be charged. We'll go to tax category add option, specify the tax category name, select the type as goods or services. We are selecting the goods option here. Then specify the rate of tax for local transaction, rate of tax for export import. Specify Y in the tax on MRP option if you want to specify tax on MRP also. And at the bottom there is a change tax rate which you can use in case there is a change in the tax rate. So here you can specify the with effect from date, that is the date from which tax rate is to be changed, and the new tax rate. Click save button to save the tax category master. Now we'll go to the account master. Here we'll create a new account master as we have created a new company. But if you are our existing user, then you can modify your party masters and specify various details. So here we'll go to account add option, specify party name, print name. Then here we are selecting the group as sundry debtors, specify the address of the party. Then we'll select the country, specify the Emirates, type of dealer, registered, unregistered, Emirates ID and TRN number. Here Emirate ID will be used only in case of country UAE, not in case of Saudi Arabia country. Click save button to save the account master. We are creating one more account master. Here also we are specifying the same details, address of the party, country, Emirates, type of dealer, Emirates ID and TRN. And click the save button to save the account master. Now we will be creating item master. We'll go to item add option, specify the item name, print name. You can create a group for item master from here itself by pressing the F3 key. On pressing the F3 key, it will redirect you to the add item group master window, wherein you can specify the name of the item group. In the update tax details group, you can specify Y in the specified tax category if you want to specify tax category for this particular item group, and then further select the required tax category. On specifying a tax category with the item master, you need not to specify the tax category with each item. That is, whenever this group will be selected with an item, automatically tax category will be shown as 5%. Coming back to item master screen, you can see on the screen as the group is selected as television, by default tax category is appearing as 5%. If you do not specify a tax category with the item group, then you need to specify tax category with each and every item separately. Specify the VAT tax code and click save button to save the item master. Now we'll go to our transaction part, that is, we'll see how to enter transactions. For this, first of all, we'll go to purchase add option, that is, we are entering a purchase voucher first. Specify the series, date, voucher number, and then is your purchase type. Very important, here we are selecting the purchase type as VAT 5% taxable, that is, we are entering a local 5% transaction. Select the party, material center, select the item. Here we are selecting Sony Bravia 32-inch LED TV and Samsung 42-inch Smart TV items. Specify the VAT bill sundry. Here we are taking the VAT bill sundry as 5%. So you can see on the screen that VAT 5% is charged on both the items. At the left hand side bottom of the voucher you can see the VAT summary also. Click Save button to save the voucher. On saving the voucher, a VAT reporting details window will appear in which you can specify the original purchase bill number and purchase bill date as you have received from the party from which you have purchased the goods. Now we will be entering sales transaction. So we'll go to transactions, sales, add option, specify series, date, voucher number, sale type. Here we are again selecting the sale type as VAT 5% taxable. That is, we are entering a VAT 5% taxable invoice. Select party, material center, select item. We are selecting Sony Bravia TV and Samsung Smart TV. Specify bill sundry. We are taking bill sundry as VAT 5%. So again you can see that VAT 5% is charged on both the items. Click Save button to save the transaction. On saving the transaction, Busy has asked, do you want to print the invoice? Click Yes button. Here we are selecting the standard format and Busy is showing a message that standard format for sales invoice is not yet configured. Do you want to configure it now? Click Yes button as it is mandatory to configure sales invoice once. So here Busy has redirected to configure sales invoice window. You can see lot of options are appearing on the screen. You can enable, disable them as per your requirement. And on the screen you can see the invoice of sales transaction, item quantity, item details, VAT percentage, VAT amount. All the details are being shown in the invoice. Next we are entering one more sales invoice. Here we are taking the sale type as VAT item wise taxable. That is, here we will specify the VAT with each and every item. With VAT item wise option, you do not need to specify the VAT bill sundry. Basically you only need to specify VAT with each item. Select party, select material center, select item, enter quantity. On pressing the enter key on the amount field, you can see an item wise VAT window is appearing which is showing VAT percentage as 5. So from where Busy has picked this percentage? Busy has picked this percentage from the Sony Bravia item, because in this particular item we have tagged the tax category VAT 5%. So whatever tax category is tagged with the item, Busy will automatically pick from the item master that what rate of tax is to be charged on this particular item. As you can see, we have not applied any bill sundry. Click Save button to save the voucher. Now we will be printing this invoice, and on the screen you can see the invoice format, VAT percentage, VAT amount along with each item is shown in the invoice. Next we will be entering one more sales invoice. Here we are taking the sale type as VAT tax inclusive. Tax inclusive implies that tax is already included in the item final amount. That is, whatever item amount you will enter, Busy will segregate that amount into item amount and the tax amount. So Busy will do a reverse calculation to segregate the item amount, that is taxable amount, and the tax amount contained in the final item amount. Select party, material center, select item. On pressing the enter key on the amount field, you can see an item wise tax information window is appearing which is showing VAT percentage as 5. This means this 2500 you have entered, out of this 2300 something is your taxable amount and 119 something is your VAT amount. So Busy has done a reverse calculation and has segregated the taxable amount and the tax amount. Click Save button to save the voucher. Now we will be printing this invoice, and you can see in the invoice final amount is 2500, but tax amount and taxable amount is 2300 and 119 respectively. So this is our sales transactions. Till now we have completed with our entering of sales transaction and purchase transaction. Now we will go to the reporting part. For this we will go to display, VAT reports, U.A.E VAT reports and VAT 201. On selecting the VAT 201 option, will specify the starting date, ending date and the tax rate for RCM. Click OK button, and on the screen you can see the VAT 201 report, that is VAT on sales and all other outputs, VAT on expenses and all other inputs, and net VAT due. Next we will be viewing VAT summary. We'll go to VAT summaries, VAT summary option, specify the starting date and ending date for the VAT summary. Click OK button, and on the screen you can see the VAT summary, local sales at 5%, local purchase at 5% and total net tax payable output minus opening plus input tax to be paid. So here we have seen the net tax payable. Now we'll enter a payment voucher for the tax paid to the government. For this we'll again go to transactions, payment, add option, specify series, date, VAT nature will be selecting as not applicable. Now we will be debiting the VAT output account and will credit the bank account. So the amount, this 259, we have seen from the VAT summary, and we are posting a voucher for the payment of the VAT. On saving the voucher, a VAT adjustment details window will appear in which will specify Y in the input VAT adjustment details. Select VAT adjustment type as payment. Now specify amount, challan number, check number, bank name, bank code, interest and penalty if any, and click OK button to save this particular voucher. Now we'll come back to print, email, SMS menu, go to VAT reports, U.A.E VAT reports, and we'll select the VAT 201 option. Here we'll specify the tax year, VAT return period, and now we will be creating a PDF file in standard format for VAT 201. Specify the file name. If you wish to specify any password for the file, then you can do so, and on the screen you can see the VAT 201 in the PDF format. So this is the process of implementing VAT in BUSY for U.A.E and Saudi Arabian countries, in which we have seen from the very start, that is enabling VAT in the company, configuring VAT in the company, creating masters related to VAT, entering transactions for the VAT, and finally viewing the reports. Hope after going through this presentation you would be able to easily implement VAT in BUSY for U.A.E and Saudi Arabia countries. Thanks for watching. For more videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel.